Hey there and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a recommendation video. I've got some books, podcasts, and shows to recommend to you, and I'm hoping these are ones you haven't heard over and over and also just ones you haven't seen at all. So if you're looking for some new shows, books, or podcasts, then you came to the right place. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with books. The first book I'm going to recommend to you is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and I know I'm starting off kind of strong here because it is a very serious book, but I did want to start off with it because it was pretty life-changing for me personally. It does discuss issues of race, code switching, Black Lives Matter, just social issues. It's a well-written book because I believe it is going to be understood by a wide range of people because it is shown through the eyes of a child, like 15-year-old, so a teenager. And by the way, this book, as well as the other two books, are available as audiobooks. So if you don't like reading physical books, then, don't let that scare you because you can definitely listen to these. Back to The Hate You Give, if you're looking for something that's more serious in tone and something that is educational, I highly, highly recommend it. The next book I recommend is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Now, this one was pretty surprising because I didn't expect to like it. In certain worlds, I could be considered a gamer girl, but really, I only play League of Legends casually. So truly, I'm not deep into the gamer world, so I thought that I wouldn't connect with this book, but I really did. It is a dystopian novel, and it is set in the future, and I just really enjoyed it because of the way that the story was told. The book follows a young man named Will who enters in a competition that winning could absolutely change his life. And I don't want to go into too much detail because I just think that the way that the story unfolds is so well done. I did highly prefer the book over the movie, but that's for my own personal reasons and another conversation for another day. The last book recommendation I have for you is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, which is a memoir by the creator of Nike. I personally like memoirs a lot because I find them to be very inspiring in goals that I want to achieve in my life. What makes this book great is just the journey that he goes through in creating the company, as well as the things that are going on in his personal life. And in general, I'm one of those people that really considers the journey to be just as important as the destination, if not more so in some cases. And I think that this book really exemplifies that idea. I highly recommend this book to anyone, but especially to you if you're looking to start a business or just any new venture in life. Switching gears to shows, I have two recommendations for you. The first is on Netflix and it is Altered Carbon. What I love about Altered Carbon is that it checks off all of my marks when it comes to shows and movies, and that is it has great actors, great character development, and a plot that isn't easily guessed by me. Now, granted, there are some shows that can get away with having easily guessed plots if they really hit the nail on the head in the other two categories, but Altered Carbon really hits all three for me. Altered Carbon is definitely for someone who likes darker themed shows. It's definitely not appropriate for kids in any way, shape, or form, and if I'm being honest, some crazy shit goes on in that show. Just saying. But I do highly recommend it for anyone who's looking for a new show to watch. The other show I have to recommend to you is on HBO, and it is Big Little Lies. You might be familiar with both Westworld and Game of Thrones. I know that I am. But Big Little Lies is a very different kind of drama. It does fall into that category. It is a drama, but I really like it because it explores a lot of taboo themes that I don't personally see done well in shows. I do think that issues of domestic violence and things like that can sometimes be tasteless, if I'm being honest, in the way that they're portrayed in certain shows and movies, but I feel that this show does a really good job of it. And even bigger than that, all of the actors in this show are phenomenal, and I especially love the fact that it is a strong female-led cast. Definitely give this show a shot if you are into the mysterious rich person tragedy mystery drama type of show, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Lastly, I've got two podcasts to recommend to you. The first is the Skinny Confidential Him and Her podcast. This podcast is hosted by Lauren Everts Bostic and Michael Bostic. Lauren Everts Bostic is the creator of the Skinny Confidential blog, and her husband, Michael Bostic, is the CEO of Dear Media Productions. I love this podcast because it explores a wide range of topics like beauty, health, wellness, everything like that, but they do it in just a no bullshit way. They're very straightforward forward. And I love the fact that the people that they have on this show also just cover a wide range. They have people of all ages, they have people from all walks of life, people that are CEOs of company, people that have written books, everything like that. And I really appreciate that. It's not just like the same kind of conversation happening every single week when they throw up a podcast. And even their solo episodes I find to be very entertaining. Also, the relationship between Lauren and Michael is I just think it's really cute. I love listening to them go back and forth, especially when they have guests on their show. And it's also nice to hear their perspectives, whether you're hearing what they're thinking in terms of how they're responding to their guests or the questions that they have for the guests. So I feel like they cover pretty much everything every time they upload a new podcast. I recommend this podcast to anyone. Just give it a shot and I think you'll fall in love. The last recommendation I have for you for today is the YouTube Power Hour podcast hosted by Erica Vieira. This podcast is for anybody that's looking to start a YouTube channel or anybody that's already started one, but you're just looking for some help or some guidance. I listened to this podcast religiously, especially when I was first getting into YouTube, and I still listen to it today. It's really helpful because she interviews people that are YouTubers as well as people that are adjacent to the YouTube community. In these interviews, you just get a lot of insight on what it takes to actually make YouTube a career, but also just the different ways that you can make it happen. And it's nice to hear from different people's perspectives about what did and didn't work for them. There's a lot of information about starting a YouTube channel that I feel like you can't find anywhere else. If you're thinking about starting one or you just started one, I highly, highly recommend checking out this podcast. Well, that wraps up my recommendations for you today. If you like this video, then let me know and leave me a comment down below. I actually really enjoyed coming up with some recommendations for you. I really like sharing other sides of me that don't have anything to do with beauty. So if you would please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you didn't already. So I hope you have a good one wherever you're at. Bye.